Is everybody done? Ish?
Wait, you're knocked up?
Oh, geez. Kimmy's got a speech.
Yeah, come on, Kim.
Speech,
All right,
speech.
so as we all know, Dad and Annie, they have retired, and I'm so grateful that they've been able to retire and around the same time, which a lot of couples don't get to do. And so, Dad, I've written a small speech for you and Annie.
Oh, okay.
So here it goes.
Okay.
Sorry that I'm reading off my phone. It's a note.
That's okay.
All right. So my dad, our dad, has been working since he was 9 years old. Since obviously, like he said earlier, he was painting with his his father, our grandfather who passed a couple of years ago. He would paint houses. He's worked in the sheet metal industry. He's done so many things. I believe you even told me you sold flowers on the corners of streets in California when you were a child, and I never forgot that. So he's such a hardworking individual, and I want to highlight that. So let's see, here we go. And one thing I've always admired about my dad is that he's always had a positive attitude anytime he's gone to work. He would always come home from work, and he always had a big smile on his face and would tell me funny stories. And people loved working with him, and that's what I love. And I want people to say that about me. Like at my career and all my jobs, I want people to say, wow, she's always the happiest person, always has the greatest attitude when she's at work. And I love that I've even been able to speak to some of his coworkers, and they've said the same thing. They loved working with him.
Yeah, I never hear him complain, really, with those weird hours.
And, but I have to say that the most important job that my dad's ever had was being a father. As we all know, and Ron's going to be one soon, and it's an important job, and I think we all know that. And so basically what I was going to say, if you think about it, all the numerous situations he's been put in, being a father sometimes was hard, especially when it was me, Jamie, and Kyla in our Redford house, and he was by himself. And a father and a mother, and I think that's incredibly inspirable. I think that's a hard thing to do, and I admire that. And so you may be surprised that we all came out pretty all right. So I think
me every day. All of you. All of our kids I'm shocked by.
Kyla's still alive, so
Yeah, exactly. I even remember when my dad had carpal tunnel in both of his hands. And I remember how hard it was for him to deal with that, how painful it was before and after surgery. And I remember having to, before school, I would go to school, obviously. He would drive me to school in the winter, and he would need help putting socks and shoes on, and I would help him. I'd help him steer the car because he couldn't do it on his own. And even through those hard times, he still worked so hard. He went back to work with a smile on his face, and he recovered, and it was incredible.
Okay.
I'll say something nice about me.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We'll get there. That was good, though.
And I mentioned some of these small memories because these are times that truly can test a person, including a father, trying to provide for his kids. So,
Yeah, he's a good dad. For sure.
and Jesus Christ. And so not only that, not only has he served the family, but he's served the communities too. If you didn't already know, he would work 5 or 6 days a week, and still even recently on Sundays he would go to church, and then he'd go to Walter Reuther Hospital and play music and minister to the mentally ill, and then afterward he would go to a drug rehab facility and play for them and minister to these people. So he just has such a good heart, and I think he really deserves this. He deserves to enjoy the rest of his life in retirement, and I really admire it. So that's awesome. So
Very nice.
But I also, okay, so here we go. And here's your
No,
card.
it's okay. Make my short.
But I also want to mention someone else, so I'll finish this up quickly. And remember, that's Annie. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to truly celebrate with her and celebrate, her retiring. And I want to say a few words. So along with my dad, she's worked so incredibly hard her whole life. She's worked at places like restaurants as a waitress while she took care of her daughter Jenny as a baby. She's worked at Norton's Market. She worked with the state since God knows, I don't even know what age.
1979.
1979,
21.
which is incredible. So So anyway, her, like my dad, she's so selfless and caring. She, the whole family knows that she's always spoiled everyone else above herself. She's done so many things for us and deserves this more than anybody with my dad. So, I was so happy when Annie told me on the phone that she told my dad, you know what, you're finishing a week early, you need to retire. She cut a week off, and said, you know what, just, you need to be with me, basically. So that brought me a lot of joy, and this is a huge milestone in life. So thank you, Annie and Dad. When you guys realized that you were going to be living in a small 3-bedroom, 1-bath house with 6 kids and 2 adults, you must have thought in your head, you know what, bring it, and somehow you made it work. Working the jobs that you guys were doing. And I remember all the Christmases where you guys were still able to spoil all of us kids somehow on the budget that you had. And I am so grateful for that. I never, despite the financial stresses that you guys always felt, even with your jobs, somehow as kids, you were able to hide that from us. And I really appreciate that, especially when I was growing up. So, I'll cut this short. So lastly, I want to read a short quote, really short, like 30 seconds, but I also want to say, in the Dutch way of saying congratulations, which is Van Hart Feliciteerd, which is congratulations from the heart. And, oh, God. So, yeah, don't forget quick quote, the joy of retirement comes in those everyday pursuits that embrace the joy of life. So to experience daily the freedom to invest one's lifelong knowledge for the betterment of others, and to allocate time to pursuits that only received in years of working a fleeting moment.
Thank you.
Wow, very nice, very nice. I think most of us will never forget that first Christmas.
Shannon had a surprise for us.